Well, good afternoon, Sioux Falls, and welcome to another listening and learning session. And hang on, this is going to be one that you will not want to miss. I am here at the Sioux Falls Regional Airport, and let me just kick it off by saying I cannot be more proud of how far this airport has come. The investments that this team is making, it really has created just a wonderful airport. Not only for folks, flying out of our great town, but maybe even just as important, if not more important, all the folks flying into Sioux Falls, and then yes, all the commerce that is impacted because of our airport. I'm very, very fortunate to kick off our listening and learning session today with probably the person most responsible for the success of our airport, and it is Dan Letlier. And Dan, would you mind? First of all, thanks for all you're doing.
Sure.
Thank you. But Dan, first of all, just tell us your role. Tell us a little bit about yourself in terms of how long you've been here in Sioux Falls, and then I'm going to hit you with some questions. Dan?
Sure. Well, I'm just finishing 7 years here as the executive director of the Sioux Falls Airport. Prior to that, I worked for Northwest and Delta Airlines as a local manager, so been here at the airport for a little over 20 years. My role here at the airport is just really kind of oversee the operation of the airport, specifically the maintenance of the facilities, the runways, taxiways, the terminal building, all the infrastructure of the airport itself, to make sure that we're in the best condition as possible, we're as safe as possible for all the users, whether you're a pilot, whether you're a passenger, whether you're an employee handling freight, to make sure the airport is ready and available and safe for all our users.
But there's certainly an operational component too, in terms of, there's thousands of people coming in and out of this place almost daily. That's got to be a huge part of your role.
Yeah, we have over 3,500 people that come and go every single day through the airport.
3,500.
3,500 people. So, making sure the airlines have the equipment and the facilities that they need, starting from checking your bag, making sure the baggage makeup system can handle your bag properly and gets to the screening person, that those people have the tools they need to screen your bag, to going through security, making sure, as you've seen and probably will look here in a little bit, our investment to expand the screening area so that the TSA has the space to efficiently screen our passengers. They have the equipment and the room necessary to screen our passengers efficiently. So when they get to the gate, it's not a hassle. Yeah. And that's really our goal, to make sure. You hear about so many horror stories these days about traveling and just like, I just hate it. But we want to make sure if you're flying in and out of Sioux Falls that part of your trip is enjoyable.
Well, Sioux Falls, if you've not been to the airport lately, or if you've not flown in and out of this airport, you've got to check it out. Because I'll tell you, we've just come a long way in terms of just making this airport so dynamic, so service friendly. And yes, really, really productive. And Dan, earlier you said the word investment. I think you folks have spent about, is it $20 million plus here? Or?
When we're finished with this project here, in the 7 years I've been here, we will have invested over $35 million in the terminal building, parking, improvements throughout the facility itself. So, and that's not funded by FAA dollars. Those are dollars that come out of our own funds. So, we're hopefully on the kind of tail end of some of this project here, and we'll take a break for a couple years. But we'll continue to focus on parking improvements, baggage claim improvements down the road here as well.
Now, Dan, $35 million. Could you explain to the people of Sioux Falls? So. It's not sales tax dollars. It's not CIP dollars. Those are dollars that, revenues that come into the airport?
Revenues generated by the users of the facility. So, our biggest revenue source is the parking. So if you come here and park, we want you to come and park. That certainly helps pay for a majority of the work that we do. But we get rents from the airlines that use that, from hangar owners that have either a ground rent or a hangar that they rent from us. landing fees. So like the commercial carriers, when they land to use our airport, we generate a small fee so that we can turn that around and invest in improving the runways and taxiways. So that money is generated by the people that use the airport.
All right. Maybe some fun stuff. All right, Dan. Is anything intriguing that you could share, such as okay, what's the busiest day of the year for your airport?
Busiest day of the year. Well, I would have to say usually anytime around Christmas time. That week, a couple days before Christmas, all the way through New Year's. I mean, every single day, even Christmas and New Year's Day now, is probably one of the busiest times of year. But you come into the spring break, President's Day holiday now, that time period is very, very busy. And as you can see, all summer long is extremely busy for us. So I would say that the 2 or 3 days before Christmas, 2 or 3 days after Christmas really probably are very, very busy. Of course, the hunting season, that Tuesday or Wednesday after the pheasant opener, very, very busy with our first group of hunters flying back home.
Dan, I don't know the answer, but for those busy times, do the airlines actually bring more planes in, or larger planes? For example, pheasant hunting season. Do they do that?
I would say it was they used to do that when they had a little more flexibility with aircraft. Flights weren't always 95% full. Not even a few years ago they were 60% full, so they could kind of shift aircraft around and provide a bigger plane during those really peak times. But I mean, when flights are full all over the country, 95% full, they're less likely to upgrade, although they do to some extent. So maybe a 50-seater becomes a 76-seater or something like that. So to some extent, but nowhere near like they used to.
Okay. Biggest challenge. What creates the most havoc, or the biggest challenge for the airport? My gut would say an ice storm, but I don't know. You help me. What would it be?
I can't even say that word, ice storm. But
Sorry.
I mean, just like
it is summer, so I'll say it now.
Like running the city, the biggest challenge certainly are the winter months, the snow events. Okay. We have a very dedicated snow removal crew, but it's a crew. It is a crew. So when you have those long duration snowstorms, I mean, they put in some long hours, because I've seen days where the whole state is shut down. The governor declares no travel. You declare no travel in town. We have a 4-foot, 5-foot snowdrift in front of the building, yet people will still clomp through the airport and come in here and expect that their plane is going to be here. So we do everything we can to keep the airport open and operating, but certainly the winter months, the snow events are really challenging for us.
Okay. Maybe the $100 million question, and it's the one that I probably hear the most. But all right, Dan.
I have nothing to do with air.
No. Well, we could go to air first, but let me let's talk about that. Is there any potential for a parking ramp?
Well, certainly there's potential, and actually we've commissioned a study to look at. We have two locations identified, one out in front here and one to the south. So first thing, identify where would be the ideal location. The second is when we would need it. When is really the critical time that we need to start going up instead of spreading things out, and of course then the size, because $18,000 to $20,000 per stall, $20 million investment. That we have to fund. The FAA is not coming in to help pay for that.
No way.
So we need to make sure it's a structure that's needed, not wanted.
Yes.
Or it's a need, not a want. And but still, we're probably looking 6-7 years down the road. Okay. So hopefully we'll have that report in August, and that will lead the airport commission on kind of lining up financing and starting the design, and something like that certainly takes 3 or 4 years to get lined up.
And just so you know, Sioux Falls, Dan actually has an airport authority meeting that he's got to go to. Mm-hmm. I'm hoping to actually talk to the airport authority members, or at least one of them as well. But Dan, maybe just if you could just maybe the top 5 investments that have been made over that 7 years, and maybe just let the people of Sioux Falls know. Of course, I'll let you do it. Go.
Yeah. Well, let's see, the top three all are, from a dollar standpoint, are the terminal itself. So,
Okay.
early on, about a $6 million project to expand the ticketing area, move all the luggage screening. If you remember years ago, we had the big x-ray machines in the lobby. You actually had to go through the gift shop to get around some of the queue lines. Not that the gift shop would mind that, but very, very congested, very confusing for people coming in here. So now all that's behind the scenes. Here you can see it's easy coming in, going. It's very efficient. We followed right on top of that with about another $7 million investment in the concourse. We added about 40% more gate seating. We added a huge restaurant and kitchen upstairs, business lounge, children's play area, another set of restrooms, 2 additional jet bridges, so you don't have to get off your plane at 1 in the morning and walk across a frozen ramp. We've also invested, $2 million in new kitchen downstairs here, and in another 2 months we'll finish about a $12 million project that expands the checkpoint area, changes the whole layout and configuration of the lobby, a new way to get upstairs, escalators, stairwell, new elevator, all of that to make the customer experience a little bit easier. So,
Dan Letlier, thank you.
No,
Thank you. Folks, you can't imagine just how wonderful this place is and how productive it is. I mean, we didn't even talk about the record number of passengers flying in and out of here. I know you got to go, but you're kicking tail. I mean, the numbers are just phenomenal. Can you talk about that?
The last, if you look at the last 5-6 years, our employments are up about, 35 to 40%. It's getting a little more difficult as, the pilot staffing issue across the aviation industry has made it more difficult to add flights, add segments like to smaller cities like Sioux Falls. So, last year we kind of treaded water, but so far this year we're up again another 2 or 3% and hoping to have a record year in 2016 and continue that on into the future as more people come into Sioux Falls and becomes a more vibrant area.
I could talk to this guy for an hour, but I know he's got to go. Dan, thank you. Really appreciate it. You bet. Great job. Again, Sioux Falls, this Sioux Falls Regional Airport is making such great strides. And something that you have to understand is that the mayor, the city council, we really don't run the airport. You met Dan Letlier, but there's actually an airport authority that is kind of the board of directors for Dan Letlier, the executive director. And with me is one of those board of directors now. And welcome, Lon. It's good to have you here. Would you just introduce yourself to the people of the town and let them know, what does the airport authority do?
Sure. My name's Lon Stroshine. I've been a member of this board for about 2.5 years. I work at Raven Industries. Raven is a company that sends a lot of people on the road a lot of different days out of the year. We use the airport a lot. I'm a pilot as well, so I use the airport personally. So I'm a pretty good fit for this board, for example. But
so I made a good selection.
You made a good selection. I'm glad you said that instead of me. I had to put a lot of crumbs out there, but I'm glad we got to this point.
Thanks, Lon. Thank you.
So what the Airport Authority does is it does all the things that you see going on around you. So we negotiate, for example, landing fees for airlines, the very basic stuff that you'd expect an airline to do. We work with the FAA to make sure that our projects and everything to make sure the runways are safe and secure and that our facilities are safe and secure are all taken care of. Okay. We do those type of very basic things, but then we also do things like work with rental car companies and people who occupy the space, who occupy the building, and all the services that are provided here. We make sure that everyone's happy and that business is able to run day to day. The interesting thing about this board that's different about other boards is that we've got a bunch of different customers. The traveler is certainly our customer, making sure people of the area in Sioux Falls are taken care of. But the airlines are also our customer. We got to make sure we're taking care of them so that there's a place, we've got the ability to marry travelers with airlines. The car rental agencies are our customers. The food service vendors are our customers. And there's just a whole bunch of people that it's kind of like conducting an orchestra, where we got to keep everything kind of flowing in harmony, and then we've got a budget. We don't have unlimited amounts of funds. We got a budget that we can use to make sure that we're providing all of those services.
And the Airport Authority, you really help drive what we're going to spend that money on. Is that appropriate, or does Dan come to you with a recommended budget? How does it work?
It's a little bit of both. So
Okay.
the administration here sets the budget to begin with. Okay. But we start working on that many months, if not years in advance, with a 5-year plan, a 5-year vision for what we want this facility to look like. What's the travel base going to look like? What are the airline needs going to be? And then we start backing that into an annual budget for spend. And so what you see going on around you now isn't something that the construction started in the last 8 to 12 months, but the process to get ready for this, securing the finances, making sure everything's ready, started years ago.
Okay. To be fair to Lon, as the mayor, I do have the ability to select the airport authority team, and it's one of those that I care about at the highest level. One of my goals was to have the airport authority certainly represent the business traveler, like in Lon's case. The leisure traveler, probably also like in your case, Lon. But also we have to remember there's things like we have to work with the military, the Air National Guard. We have to work with the commerce component, whether it's FedEx flying in or out, and so much more. So that it is the kind of a symphony or a concert, as you said.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And by the way, I don't know if it's normal in every airport, but we've got tremendous working relationship, be it with the Air Guard, be it with FedEx, be it with the airlines. In business, when you're talking about profit and loss, like we are in all those cases, and you talk about runway usage like you are with the Air Guard, there's always a possibility that you could get sideways, but everybody's always willing to put their guard down and say, okay, what's best? What is really best? And let's all figure out how we come together. And that's true with just about everybody who uses this facility.
I am keeping him from his airport authority meeting. Thanks for doing this, Lon. But I had $1 million question for Dan, and I've got $1 million question for you.
All right.
And it's as I'm listening and learning from the people of our town, they're the ones that pop up the most. But here it goes, and I don't know if you've got an answer or not, but I'm going to ask it anyway.
I could probably guess the question.
Is Southwest Airlines ever coming here?
Yes. You said ever, and it would absolutely be, when we talk about how we're going to prepare this airport and prepare the community to create this message, to recruit the types of airlines we want in here, they're absolutely in our crosshair. Now, there's nothing in there's not a contract. We're not going to go in here and rush into a contract right now, but absolutely an airline like that is right in our crosshair. And by the way, with the improvements we're doing here, with how we've kept landing rates in check, we're probably now more than ever on their radar differently than we've been in the past.
Well, that is a good answer. And again, not to minimize the carriers that are already here. I don't want to do that. In fact, there's some legacy carriers that have been here from the inception, and want to celebrate them, want to thank them, want to give them good business. But at the same time, I think as we've proven with Frontier, for example, when Frontier came in, it also changed the dynamic of airfares, more flying options, more flying times. And so, having somebody like a Southwest come in, I think would change the dynamic again.
I completely agree with that. Okay. And we're hopeful to keep bringing airlines in that the people in the region want to use. Now I got to go find out how Dan answered this.
Thank you. Hey, thanks for your service. One thing, the airport authority, they don't get paid a dang dime to do this. They are truly just being stewards, sharing their time and their talent all on behalf of you, on behalf of this city, and really on behalf of this entire region, because so many people from all across this area are flying in and out of Sioux Falls. So thank you for your service.
Absolutely.
Take care, Lon.
All right.
You bet. We're standing up in our new security area, and I grabbed a couple of people who were getting ready to fly out, and they just happen to be Sioux Falls folks, the Colda family. And first of all, I'm jealous that you're going out of town. Have a great time, and tell me, where are you going?
We're going to Las Vegas. My husband's retiring, and we're meeting all of our children in Las Vegas for a retirement celebration.
Well, congratulations on your retirement, Mr. Colda.
Oh, thank you, sir.
No, I love it. And you are Sioux Falls folks for how long?
Well, I'm from Ohio originally, but we've been here 34 years.
Okay.
He's Platt originally.
Since 82. So you've seen the airport evolve a little bit. Impressions?
Oh, we're thrilled how it's evolved. It's wonderful. And we travel a lot.
Oh, you do?
Yes, we do. So we just think it's gotten better and better.
Do you always select Sioux Falls as the place to fly out of, or have you been tempted by Omaha, Minneapolis, Sioux City?
Yes, we have. We've gone.
Talk about that place.
I have gone down to Omaha several times to fly to Cleveland, and we have a daughter who lives in Minneapolis and a son who lives in New York, so we've gone to Minneapolis. But we prefer to fly out of Sioux Falls. It's just, it's our hometown airport, and we very rarely go to Omaha anymore. And the only time we would go to Minneapolis is if we were going to pick up our daughter and fly out that way. So.
Are fares the biggest reason you would fly somewhere else? What would it be?
It would depend on the difference. You'd have to figure that if you're going to have to go to Omaha, when is the flight? You're going to have a hotel room the night before. It's just you just put a mind pencil to it.
Okay. Well, and I know I'm holding you from that Vegas trip and hanging out with your family, but can I ask you one last question? And again, have a great time. But if we need anything to make it even better, and we found out from Dan Ledley earlier, they've put in $35 million just in the last 7 years. But if there's anything else that we could do to make it even better at the airport, what would it be?
I don't know, the parking. I would appreciate the more parking because I've been here in the winter when it's been horrible to get out. But I think you've done a very good job. I love the security's gotten a lot better. Yeah. I seriously can't think of anything right now.
Thank you.
You've done a great job.
I think. More airlines competing for flights to Denver.
I mean, I think that and I know would you hit on that again, because I think that is something that when Frontier Airlines came on, it really helped us get some competition to Denver and then to the West Coast, and it helped lower the fares a little bit. But no, I get it. Tell me why that's important to you.
Well, if you just look at the numbers, it's actually cheaper to fly from Sioux Falls to Colorado Springs going through Denver than it is just flying straight to Denver.
We have children in Colorado, so we watch that also.
Yeah, you bet.
Yeah, so yeah, it'd be nice to have more airlines here too.
And I know they're working on that, because you're right. Competition drives all kinds of things: lower fares, more service options, more alternatives for you. But thank you. And again, congratulations on your retirement. You're going to Vegas. You're going to be with family.
Meeting the kids.
And where did you work, please?
Well, I most recently just got done at the VA. I started at the Central Plains Clinic back in the last century in '82.
Been a surgeon in town for how long?
That was shortly after that big rock killed all the dinosaurs.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
And have a great time in Vegas with your family, and just enjoy it. And thanks for your willingness to speak to us today.
You're welcome.
You bet.
You're welcome.
Have a great trip.
Yeah.
Thank
Good
you.
job.
Sioux Falls, this is going to be a special treat. We grabbed Daniel before he was heading off to his next flight. But Daniel, thank you for doing it. You fly for Delta Connection, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And where are you from?
From Ohio originally. I'm based in Los Angeles right now, so it takes me all over the country.
And how long have you been flying?
I've been flying since I was about 14, so 10 years.
Oh my God.
For the airlines for about 2.5 years. Okay.
So first time you've flown into Sioux Falls, or is this a regular connection?
Really? Second time, yep. I went to school in North Dakota. North Dakota, the rival. Yes. But yeah, this is my second time flying in the airlines. I was here last week for another overnight.
Danielle, did you stay? So how does it work? Every time you fly in, do you have to stay overnight, or how many hours can you fly?
It normally depends. It can change quite a bit. For example, we were here last night. Okay. We stayed downtown, so it was a nice time. Beautiful downtown city. Thank you.
Yeah. You've only been here a couple times. Tell me what's your impressions of the city? Where were you? You lived in North Dakota, or you went to school in North Dakota?
Yep, Grand Forks, University of North Dakota. Yep.
Okay. Impressions of the city?
Very clean, very very tidy. A lot of good upkeep. It seems to be that there's quite a few good bars, some restaurants downtown. We visited the Blackwater Falls, I think they were called. The Falls downtown. Yeah, great area down there. I think you got some great tourist attractions here. Bring some people in.
Could you quickly just could you tell the people of Sioux Falls just about the airline industry? How's it going? I mean, it seems like it seems like it's just unbelievably busy. Is that true?
Yeah, summer travel season is definitely a tough time. Lots of flights, lots of people trying to go to their vacation, see their family, that kind of stuff. But it's a great time in the airline industry. Fuel prices are at an all-time low.
Yeah.
Flights are at an all-time high,
Okay.
and airlines are making a ton of money, and it's great.
Are there enough pilots like you?
No, there are. They're coming up through the pipes, through my colleges and through local flight schools and stuff like that. So they're coming up the pipes.
Well, great, great. I want to thank you for just taking some time and giving us some different perspective. But and hurry back, hurry back. Have you flown here in the wintertime yet?
I have not.
Okay.
I assume it's kind of like Grand Forks.
You know, maybe if this is okay, what is the toughest flying conditions? What would it be? And again, you just what is it? Is it wind? Is it rain? Is it snow? What is it?
We're trained for a lot of different scenarios, so we have a lot of practice in different types of situations with wind, with turbulence, with bad weather conditions, low clouds. So we're properly trained for it, and so yeah,
Bring it on.
one day it'll be like beautiful and sunny like it is today, and the next day it'll be cloudy and rainy, and we're trained to handle all of it. So it's great.
I love it. Well, I'm always confident when I fly, and yeah, I mean, basically, we put our lives in your hands, and I think it's wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, nice to meet you, Daniel.
Thank you.
Sioux Falls, we've got Bill and Joan. They're Minnesota folks, and they're waiting for their granddaughter to come through the terminal and probably give you a big hug and big kiss. So I know that's happening, but tell me, do you ever fly out of Sioux Falls?
I'm a retired pilot. I spent quite a bit of my lifetime flying for corporations. I flew for Red Howell Stores, Studebaker, Worthington, and Garrett Air Research, a part of Honeywell and that sort of stuff. When I was with Red Howell Stores, we used to come into Sioux Falls now and then. Yeah, and because we had stores here in Sioux Falls, and let's see, did we have trying to think, big office up there in Fargo someplace.
Bill, has the airport changed a little bit?
Yeah, it has, yeah.
So do you fly leisurely to go visit kids or grandkids?
We've flown out of here a few times.
Where else do you fly? Minneapolis?
Well, out of Minneapolis, we have kids in California, Florida, New York. And
So where do you normally fly out? Would Sioux Falls be your first choice, or would it?
would be our first choice. It's
It
a lot
would.
closer than Minneapolis.
Okay. What is the biggest driver for you to decide to fly out of Sioux Falls versus Minneapolis? Is it price, convenience? What is it, Bill?
It's a little closer to get to.
Okay.
We're about 150, 160 miles from Minneapolis and St. Paul, and you're dealing, of course, with a bigger city, although this city is getting kind of big.
It is. Yeah, we're growing about four. Let's see. Now, what town are you from, Bill?
Walnut Grove.
And how big is Walnut Grove?
Oh, let's see, 700 or 900 people, yes, yeah.
Okay.
Yes, we have a lot of Hmongs living there,
Okay.
and that helped the school system quite a bit. Yeah.
Well, we're growing about 3,000 to 4,000 people a year. So yeah, it is growing. But well, I'm glad you do choose Sioux Falls every now and then to. Do you ever shop here when you're here, Joan?
Yes, definitely.
Thank you. And tell us about the town. What your impressions? How we doing?
I think great. We come over here for medical appointments also. So, yes, I think it's great. Nice place.
Any chance you'll retire here or move here?
I don't know. I doubt it.
Taxes are low. But well, thank you for being here today. I really appreciate it. And your granddaughter, where's she coming from?
Actually, Huether, California, but it's Los Angeles. Daughter
and granddaughter.
Yeah. Yeah, the granddaughter is, how is she, 16 years old, something like that?
15 going on 20.
She's she's really a hot shot when it comes to soccer. They have teams out there, and anyway, did they give her any kind of award yet?
Well, they just won the state. Her team won.
In California? Oh my gosh, she is a hot shot. I mean, that's the real deal. And she's just coming here to visit Grandma and Grandpa.
Yes, that's right.
Enjoy her. Enjoy her. Really, Bill, appreciate it. Nice to meet you. And Joan, nice to meet you too. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, we're going to have some fun, Sioux Falls. We're in one of the gift shops here at the Sioux Falls Airport, and I'm with Glow, and you're the manager here. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, great. First of all, thanks for your willingness to do this. How long have you worked here at the airport?
About 9 years.
At the gift shops here?
Yep.
Okay, so you know this stuff like the back of your hand.
Oh, and all the changes we've been through.
Tell us about the changes. What have you seen the most?
Well, we started across the hall and then moved out in the middle of the hall and into here. And then during remodeling, we went back out to the hall again and now back in here.
So is it more space? Is it more retail? Is it better?
Better for the clientele to walk through and see everything.
Are sales up? I would think they would be.
They are. Yes, they are.
Okay. All right. So fun stuff. What is the most popular item that is sold at the gift shop? Is it magazines? Is it beverages? Is it last minute gifts? What is it?
South Dakota shirts.
Oh wow!
Because you can't really find the South Dakota shirts in stores around, and these have with buffaloes on them, and established shirts, and Mount Rushmore, and coats that we have that has all the South Dakota emblems on them. Our new purses that we have. We got a whole section of South Dakota items here that's all new that has been running out the door.
So Glow, really anything that's Sioux Falls or South Dakota,
You can find here.
and that's the hot ticket item.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, other popular things that are sold last minute. What?
Oh, shot glasses and cups and you name it. Everything that they can take back as a souvenir.
Okay. What happens last minute? What's been an unusual request? Maybe is it some guy who's going back to his bride and he needs something? Give me something unusual that's happened.
Oh, we try to show them if it's for a woman, we want them to buy the Black Hills Gold because you can only get that in South Dakota.
There's a little insight. Okay, really. So that's what you do, and you say,
Tell
okay.
them what items they are. Find out what size she is. Help them out.
Okay, great.
Yep.
Most popular food item that's sold in a gift shop. What would it be? Is it candy? Is it a beverage?
Well, not even just food items. We have the corn that's really popular. It pops on the cob.
You're kidding me. But
No.
people are buying this?
Yeah. It's popcorn. It's fresh. It's local. And they put it in a bag and it pops right there in the bag.
Okay. All right. Very good. Love it. I love it. You've got quite the selection here. So obviously, if they need it or if they want it, you're going to have it here.
Yes.
That's for sure.
Yes.
Very good. Glow. Let's see. How many gift shops are here in the airport? There's one downstairs.
Gift port 1, gift port 2.
Okay. Very good. Very good. And
Gift port 2 is a better place to get your beverages and your snacks since you can't take liquids through and big selection up there.
and then that makes perfect sense.
Mhm.
Is one busier than the other?
Yes.
That one up there's got to be. Okay, it's got to be. I would think not.
It is because we get layovers up there, so they go in and buy books, magazines. They get their candy, their pops. They shop around. We have more merchandise down here.
Okay.
So,
Do you ever run out of anything?
oh yeah, all the time. Big sellers we try to keep up on,
And so, what would that big seller be? You talk about what would it be that you'd run out of?
like shirts. I mean, certain shirts that come through sizes. That's what I'm working on now is sizing out the shirts.
Glow, thank you, and thanks for your service to Sioux Falls too. Appreciate it. Little insight on the gift shops. Love it. All right, Sioux Falls. I found Joshua, and Joshua works here at the airport. And tell us what you do.
Well, I'm on the ramp. So when a plane comes in, first set our cones, bag, unload, load up, load them, send them off.
Joshua, how long you been working at the airport?
For about 5 months.
Okay, so you've had summer, or you've had what? Kind of some spring months and a little bit of summer. No winter yet.
I've been in the cold for a little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
So I got here about late February or early February.
So
yeah.
you've had some.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so give us what's the toughest conditions? Trying to prepare the planes in and out or taking the luggage. Is it heat? Is it cold?
It's more so cold. More so cold every time.
Okay.
So just getting those planes out in that bad weather takes a lot. You have delays. You have people being deplaned. You have lots of work through. Yeah.
How do you dress appropriately in those winter months? I mean, I've seen you guys work so hard. It's so cold. I mean, you've got no choice. You got to go out there regardless of the wind and the snow. And
We're there. Yep, we're there. Best way to stay nice and warm in the winter is have your underclothes right. I would say that. I would say have your underclothes right because
so is that one pair of long johns, two pairs of long johns?
You have to have the two pair of long johns. One for the bottom, one for the top.
I love it. So, where are you from? Are you Sioux Falls born and raised?
No, I'm from Chicago, Illinois. Born and raised, yeah.
So what brought you to Sioux Falls?
I had 3 of my brothers move out here before me, and I just think it's a great city. It's nice, and it's a little smaller than what I'm used to, but other than that, it's a great city. It's just the opportunity that's here that brought me here.
So your brothers came to Sioux Falls first for I don't know, work or family or whatever, and they recruited you here.
Yes. And it was the best decision I ever made, I could say. So it was a lot of job openings here. So it's a nice opportunity.
Yes, sir.
All right.
I love it. I love it. I know that probably you're never going to make folks as happy as you want when it comes to getting their luggage here on time. Can you give us the scoop? What is the biggest reason why it would take longer for that luggage to come? What is it? Is it?
It could be a number of things.
Okay.
On our part, it could be miscommunication.
Okay.
It could be the number of bags coming off.
Okay.
But we try our best, 100%, to get them there.
Do you? Dumb question. Do you take all the bags off before you bring them, or do you put some on, bring some, and then bring others in?
Well, our bags come off a conveyor belt. We set a belt up to the bag, and we have one person in the cockpit to throw bags down. So we scan the bag tags as we go. So we just load all the bags on the cart, and then we just take them around the baggage claim.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but if we have miscommunication, that can go wrong. But if it goes smoothly, which we have been, go right.
Is it two folks that are loading and unloading these bags? One in the plane and one out?
That depends on the plane and the model.
Okay.
See, so if it's a CRJ, then it's a small pit, one-man pit. But if it's like an Airbus, probably about 2.
Too big.
Yeah.
Okay. I love it. So are you staying in Sioux Falls?
Yes.
Okay. You've been here, you said 5 months.
Yeah, I've been working at the airport for 5 months, but I've been in Sioux Falls for about a year.
About a year.
Yeah.
Okay. So tell me if you could change something about our city to make it even better. What would it be? You've been here a year.
Yeah. If I could change one thing about Sioux Falls to make it better, I say I would have more of the ages, more opportunities for the youth. So I would say more activities, more fun stuff, more festivals, more parades.
Okay.
Yeah.
So more stuff to do for the younger generation.
Yep.
Okay. Yep. What would you want us to do? You said you were from Chicago.
Yes. Yes, I'm from Chicago.
What did they do there that we should do here?
One thing I was big on is I love music. Okay. So they had a lot of open studios in Chicago. They have a lot of fun stuff. So I would say that music definitely brings people together.
All right.
So.
We're building it's called the Levitt Pavilion. Okay. That's going to be built here in about a year and a half, 2 years, and that will have 50 free performances a year, and probably be mostly during the summer. So I think what you want is coming. So stay tuned. Stay tuned.
I will.
Yeah.
I will. I definitely will.
Well, thanks for engaging me today, and thanks for letting me be your mayor. And you tell your brothers I'm pumped that they're here, and I'm pumped that you're here.
All right. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
It was really nice to meet you.
As well. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. Sioux Falls, we've actually got a sports star that is flown into Sioux Falls and now heading to, sounds like Pier. I've got Mike Albee here, who's a professional bowler. And welcome to our time, Mike.
Oh, glad to be here. It's great so far. See some good friends I haven't seen in many years, and look forward to coming.
And friends are from Vermilion. Introduce yourself to the people of our town.
My name's Kevin Annis, and this is my wife, Holly.
Hi.
I got Kevin and Holly here from Vermilion as well. So, Mike, before I go back to you, folks, do you ever fly out of Sioux Falls?
Yeah, quite often.
Yeah.
You do?
Yep.
For business, for leisure?
Yeah, business, pleasure.
Okay.
Mostly pleasure.
Now, you're in Vermilion, so you could easily go to Sioux City, to Omaha. I'm going to ask, it's a tough question, but you got to be honest, my friend. What percentage of the flights do you choose Sioux Falls versus Sioux City and Omaha?
Well, back in the day, we'd have gone out of Omaha kind of regular, 20, 30 years ago, but I'd say almost 100% out of Sioux Falls in the last 10 or 15 years. Good prices, convenience.
Fantastic. Thank you. And we have tried to get the prices down, increase competition, more alternatives, a better airport. Has it made a difference, you think? I mean, in your case, it must have.
Yeah, it has. It's very convenient. It has everything, but it's not spread out over, 5 miles of walking and stuff. So it's very good.
Well, thanks for being here and spending your money. And I'm interrupting their meal. If you can imagine, we got what is that? Patty melt and tater tots.
Tater rounds. Yeah.
Tater rounds. Okay, is it good?
It was very good.
All right, very good.
Marlins does a good job.
And that's a good point. Marlins, who is well known all across the state of South Dakota, they actually have the contract now to provide the meal service here at our airport. So Sioux Falls, I mean, come on. If you're not flying out here, at least you can do is eat out here, have a beer out here. But so you said it was pretty good, right?
It was excellent.
All
yeah.
right. Thank you. Now, we're not going to pass this up. We've got a professional bowler here. Mike, thanks for coming to Sioux Falls. And so why are you're visiting friends, but why are you, what are you doing?
I'm going to be speaking at the State Hall of Fame banquet in Pierre tomorrow, or on Saturday. And
For bowling?
Yeah, for bowling. And they have the state jamboree there. And so, and I go on from here to Bowl Expo in Las Vegas. So I just kind of looked at my options on flights and stuff between here and Rapid City for me. So this one was more convenient for me. And obviously got a chance to meet good friends we haven't seen in years.
Thank you. I love. Are you going to do any bowling here? Do you have to do it's like an exhibition?
There's a little bit of that. There's a little bit. I don't do too much of that anymore, but I do some still. So.
That would be a lot of pressure. Mike, I will tell you, I love competing in all sports, and I think my worst sport in terms of competition is bowling. I am just not good at it. So.
Maybe you need to come with me, so I got somebody that I can beat maybe.
Well, you'd beat me with ease, but I love it. So you picked Sioux Falls over Rapid. What was there a price?
Timing schedule. The cost was similar, but it was more about the easiness of the timing for me.
You with your role while you were a professional bowler, and then now that you're doing, you must fly all over the place.
I did a lot of driving, but we did fly everywhere. Drove probably more than that. But it's been, I think we were talking, I was probably 12 years old last time I was in South Dakota. So it was a good opportunity to come.
Welcome back. What's the number one thing that you look for in terms of a good airport?
For me, it's ease. For me, I live in Indianapolis, which bigger city, but the airport's not all that big. So I like it because I can get in and out and feel more relaxed, not waiting. I flew through Chicago, which no thank you, but it is what it is.
No, I won't fly in to or out. Yeah, I just won't do it. We are, as your good friends have stated, our airport is certainly evolved. We've spent a lot of money here. It's getting better. Thank you. It is getting better, and the security is now done. I got that done, and now there's just a few more touches. We're one of the things we're talking about now is a parking ramp, especially during the winter months. Talk about that, please.
Oh yeah, during the winter you couldn't beat it. I don't know why you'd want to park outside. Yeah.
Because it does still snow here, Mike. It does, and there's wind and some cold and some rain.
It might make me go to Omaha in the winter if I had the choice because of that. There you go.
Because they have the parking ramps. That's that was a very fair comment. Very good. Do folks fly Southwest Airlines out of Omaha?
Have. Yeah.
Well, we don't have it yet, but I know it's a goal. What is do you do a lot of leisure travel?
Well, not a lot. We probably fly somewhere once or twice a year, kind of a thing. But
You go where it's warm, or you visit family?
yeah, one or the other. Mostly warm or for something to do. So, but we like to fly. We fly United a lot, and every once in a while grab an Allegiant.
Okay.
trip somewhere. So
Well, I think and their food's getting cold. I should not have done this, but I mean, my gosh, we get a professional bowler in town. We got to interview the guy. Have a great trip.
Thank you.
Yeah, welcome back to South Dakota. 12 years old was his last trip, and enjoy great friends. And thanks for coming from Vermilion, and thanks for letting me interrupt as well.
No
Thank
problem.
you. Take care. Thank you. Sioux Falls now. I'm with Janine Haight, and Janine, she takes care of all of the restaurants here within the Sioux Falls Regional Airport. And Janine, there's 3 of them, right?
That's correct.
Okay. This thing has evolved in a huge way. I mean, this is really a classy place to eat, to grab a beer. I mean, this is a classy one, but then those upstairs, they're just as nice. Has it made an impact?
Absolutely. The customers or passengers love to get through security, have an opportunity to sit down, have a sandwich or a beer, or get the kids settled, and then they're there. They don't have to worry about trekking through security with the suitcases and the kids and all of that. So they truly enjoy the space upstairs.
And Janine, so you've got Marlin's Restaurant, Sub. What do we have here?
Lower level is the Marlin's Restaurant, which includes the Caribou Coffee line. Okay. We serve breakfast from 4 o'clock a.m. till 10:30 a.m. and then snacks, burgers, appetizers from 10:30 till close. Okay. Subway is open from 7 a.m. till 9 p.m. And the upstairs, we do not have the Subway, but we have the pizza, our own pizza line.
Oh, and it's really good too.
Yes,
oh no, very good.
Lots of compliments on that.
You know, Janine, I know in the old days, I know that I used to come and eat at the airport when I was working at Citibank. And can folks come eat here and not pay a parking or get their parking reimbursed? Is that possible?
Not that I'm aware of at this time.
At this time.
I've had some inquiries about this, but not at this time.
Okay.
The lower level restaurants are a non-secure area, so they can certainly come and help themselves to Subway and have lunch, but they still have to pay for their parking. We're no different than downtown.
Okay. Oh, and that's a valid point. That's a valid point. Okay. Kind of some fun facts, and I don't know. We're trying to teach Sioux Falls about stuff going on in our town. So Janine, help me. What's the most popular item that is sold when it comes to our restaurants or our bars?
There's so many.
So give me 1 or 2. What are the biggies that you can't keep enough of them on the shelf?
Well, in the summertime, we just started a new item here called salad shakers, and those we're having a hard time keep on the shelf. It's a new concept for us here. Women like to grab them, throw them in their purses, and they can eat a little bit, put the lid back on, and finish their whatever they're doing, their makeup or their flight or whatever. And they're very portable. All of our food is made from scratch. All of our grab and go is made from scratch. So everything is made fresh daily, and of course, the burgers we never freeze, so they are sliced from fresh product. So we make homemade carrot cake here. We make homemade banana bread here. That's my grandmother's recipes.
You can get anything really here. I mean, that's great.
And it's a non-traditional airport because a traditional airport, you're not going to find as many fresh products as you do here.
Oh, that's okay. Very good. Very good. Big events. There's a Super Bowl's going on, and people are waiting to go to their location, or there's something big going on, and people are all just hanging out. How busy does it get? Can it just get nuts?
Upstairs, yes.
So tell us about a nuts upstairs. What happens?
Nuts upstairs would be with a couple of Allegiant flights that are delayed with 150 passengers per plane. We've had plane diversions where we've had 5 planes in one day, where we've had...
They were diverted to the Sioux Falls Airport?
That's correct, for medical or weather reasons. So we had 5 planes in one day, and that's an additional 750 passengers that we weren't expecting.
And they're all eating and drinking
upstairs. And they can't leave that area because it's a secure area. They have to have a boarding pass to go through security. So Yeah, they weren't really thrilled about making the stop, but you try to make the best of it.
Do you ever run out of food or run out of beer or run out of soda? Does that ever happen?
No.
No. Okay.
No.
I mean that's a busy having 5 planes. That had to really tax you.
Oh, absolutely, and they'll get 2 or 3 at a time. We just had one last Saturday with Sun Country for 100 people, and then they get the vouchers, and it's you can't predict what's going to happen. That's the thrill of it, though. Really.
And so, how long have you been here at the airport? How long have you been working to try to serve the clients here?
I have been here almost 5 years. 5 years in September. So I went through the renovation down here and the opening the subway, and the concept upstairs had just opened about 1 month before I came on board. So we learn every day, we change every day. We have to try to do everything we can do to make them happy.
Are you finding enough help, enough people to work?
Never-ending challenge. We're no different than anyone else.
At 2.4% unemployment rate, I bet it is a challenge for you. Yeah.
Yes, and we're opening the new Marlins on 10th in Minnesota.
You are. Thank you.
And
Thank you.
They're struggling to find help. It's everyone in town. Watch the marquees. They all look the same. Now hiring.
Help wanted. Apply now. Yes. Well, Janine, thank you so much. Nice to have you here, and thanks for helping our airport evolve in such a grand way. Non-traditional airport, because what you're serving is fresh. That's interesting.
I actually had a food critic from LA track me down and tell me what a tremendous facility we had here, and compliment our facility, not only the cleanliness, the quality of food, but the staff as well, how friendly and helpful they were. So that's a feather in our hat. We're real proud of that.
I'm ending on that, Sioux Falls. That's wonderful. Thank you, Janine. That's beautiful. Make it a great day.
Thank you.
Well, I am now with Officer Pat Adams. And Officer Adams has actually worked at the airport here for about 13 years. And, Officer Pat, security is such a huge topic when it comes to airports. And how do you do it here? I mean, this is a very, very secure place, isn't it?
Yeah. We like to be, visible everywhere and just let people see we're around, and it seems to deter whatever problems we might have. We don't have very many problems out here. So.
And I think that's very, very comforting. I mean, it is wonderful. How big is the security team here?
Well, the police officers, there is 6 of us. And the airport has their own security. Sioux Merchant Patrol is out here also, so
And then you include the folks up at the security area too. That's a whole nother part.
Yes, that's another. Trinity is the group that works for the TSA up there, and so I don't know how many there are, 45 or 50 of them, and so. We kind of keep it together that way.
Well, you really keep it together here. Yeah, I mean, you do, and it is. You don't ever hear of anything bad happening at our airport. It's got to be very rare.
Yeah, it's we like to be all over, and it's not a huge airport, and it's easier for us to pretty much hear and see what's going on all the time, and so.
Officer Pat, without going into too much detail, I mean, what has been one of the more challenging things that's happened out here at the airport?
Well, the construction's huge. I mean, they're busy all the time, and it's really looking nice. But the things change so often, and just keeping up with TSA's improvements and things are, it's challenging. So it's kind of works for us.
Well, you probably actually have to monitor the construction workers too. Is that right?
Well, most of the time the airport handles that. Their security themselves. So Sioux Merchant Patrol is watching them, but they will call us from time to time if they have issues, and we just work through them.
What would be an example of a challenging situation out here? I mean, we haven't any, I don't think anybody, assaulting anybody or anything like that. Is it someone maybe drinking too much, or someone who's uncooperative in terms of won't allow a bag search? What would it be?
Most of it is some people are not familiar with how the airlines work, and they usually we just show up and they're like, and nobody comes out here to get in trouble. And the bar does stay open, so if there's a delayed flight, especially, Vegas or somewhere where they're going to be on vacation, sometimes we have to speak to them a little bit, but it's pretty easy to deal with, and so it's.
I love your comment about not everybody's used to, the procedures, because security is unbelievably tight right now when it comes to flying out of in America. Correct?
It is, and they say everything is the same, but I'm not so sure it's all the same. And every different area has a few things that they do different, and people just don't get that. It used to be shoes, and it used to be, and people just don't get it, and we just have to be there is about it. We never really have to get too involved with it, but it works. We all work together. And
Officer Pat, when folks are coming into the airport to pick somebody up, I know that we come on this main road here in front of the airport. Any advice you'd give them, people of Sioux Falls that are picking up a son or a niece or a nephew or a friend? What advice would you give them so that they don't get a ticket or get in trouble?
Well, don't ever leave your vehicle. You have to be with your vehicle. If you pull up out front, you're supposed to be able to just pull up, load whoever you're with, and then you pull away. There is another parking area just as you pull onto JC Lane. They call it the cell phone lot or something like that. And you can wait there. Everybody has a cell phone anymore. You get your phone call, you pull up and get them and leave.
Officer Pat, let's do that. That's very good. Sioux Falls, you don't have to go to short-term parking, or you can actually go as you come into the airport, just to the north or to your right. There is a kind of a waiting area, kind of a cell phone waiting area.
That's where the cell phone tower is, and you can see all the cell phone equipment and stuff there. And there's a parking lot there, free parking lot, and you can just wait there for the vehicle. You don't have to pull up in front of the airport and wait for them.
So your person comes down. They just call and say, "Hey, I'm here in the front," and then they just leave that parking lot and come pick people up.
That's correct. Yeah. That's right. And it works out when they do that. But a lot of people will just pull up and sit there, and they have to move them along. That's part of the security, and a lot of people don't get it, but we move them along.
Thank you, Officer Pat. Thank you. A couple of good pieces of advice. Don't leave your car if you're parked out here. There's a cell phone lot, which is good, and again, I think Officer Pat said it best. He's been here 13 years, folks. If you're looking for a safe and secure place to fly in and out of, Sioux Falls is certainly one of those.
That's right. That's right.
Thanks for your time and thanks for your service, and thanks for protecting us as well.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Okay, I'm just walking here around the airport, and I see two folks, and I got these folks. They are very engaging. I could tell. I've got Bill and Jody Rody from Nebraska, and you're waiting for your sister?
Yeah, flying in from Vegas.
Oh my gosh, great! And when's the last time you saw her?
Monday when I dropped her off.
Oh, so she had all the fun, and you've got the travel.
She's bringing her grandson home to visit for a while. So yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah. All right. So, how often do you come to Sioux Falls, Bill?
We're up here once a month, probably. We have a trucking company, and we deal with their Peterbilt dealer here in Sioux Falls. Yes. They're very good to us. Very good dealership.
And busy.
And busy is right. They do a lot of. They have a great inventory and good people to work with.
And what was the town in Nebraska? Help me.
Well, it's a little tiny town of Homer. We're just across the river from Sioux City.
Okay. And I'm originally a Yankton boy.
Okay.
Yeah, and thank you. I appreciate.
College there, Mount Marty. Yeah.
Nursing or
no?
teaching?
She had a teaching degree.
Very good.
And she had a volleyball scholarship. We'd hoped that she would end up staying in Yankton and make home there, but she did not. We love your state and we love your cities.
Well, we were just named one of the top 5 communities in America to retire at. You're still young, but come on, retire in Sioux Falls. We'd love it.
We would love to. Believe me, we'd love you. Absolutely. We run a trucking company, and your state's so friendly to our trucks. That's one thing I like about it. And tax friendly.
Yes.
I'm a county commissioner in our little county of Dakota. And here's the thing. Nebraska, as you enter our state, it says a good life, which it is. It's a good life. Yeah. But it should also say, if you don't like our weather, wait till you see our taxes.
Oh boy,
think he's
really?
apologized.
That is, Commissioner, that was very good. That was really good.
I've got a little story about Granite City last night.
Okay,
You're
hang on. Jody, excuse me. All right, here we go. Here we go. We're going to transition a little bit. Granite City. So you stayed overnight.
We stayed overnight in Sioux Falls. Had a great time. Ended up eating dinner at Granite City, and the little gal serving us and setting us. We wanted to go outside, and on the way out there, I said, this is our first date. It's kind of awkward for me right now.
With Jody.
Yeah, with Jody, and actually we've been married 41 years. But
Still awkward.
Yeah, we just love having a good time. What a better place than Sioux Falls.
Thank you.
Great city.
I mean, there are a lot of good things going on, Bill, and you've been very kind. But I mean, what attracts you to the city? I mean, I mean, you've been very kind about our city. What's going on here that makes you feel good about what we're doing?
Well, I come up to shop quite a bit. Okay. We just ate downtown a beautiful summer day, and it's lots of fun spots to sit outside and enjoy the weather. Like he said, he comes up for trucking quite a bit. He gets a lot of parts, and we deal with our autos up here. Frankman Motors is one of his favorite stops. So yeah, and we travel out to the hills at least 2 or 3 times a year, the Black Hills. So we come through here and always stop.
When you're at Frank, are you buying a vehicle here in Sioux Falls?
Often, yes. Yeah, he's a wheeler dealer. He's always trading and buying and selling and stuff. So yeah.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Have you been to our new events center? You have not.
No, not yet.
We have not.
So I mean, why? We've been open over a year. You're not that far away. Haven't we had the shows you wanted, or you can't get in, or just?
I wouldn't say that.
No, you have good shows. I decided about 5 years ago I'm getting too old for concerts. There's a story there, but I'm not going to go into detail.
Let's just leave it at that.
That's okay. What stays in Sioux Falls, or what happens in Sioux Falls, stays here. So, but how about you, Jody? I mean, any shows we could bring here that you would be interested in attending?
Oh, I've come up before for craft shows and that kind of thing. So, no, we're just not big on concert goers so much anymore. But
we've got bull riding, rodeos, we've got Vegas shows, comedies. So there's all basketball, stuff like that. But well, I love it. And Commissioner, how long did you serve?
I'm going on my 9th year. We have 3 years left, and that'll be my 12th year, and then I'm done. Not term limits. I'm just ready to travel a little more.
But you've served already 9 years. Your people.
9 years.
Proud of you. Oh yeah, I do too.
We wouldn't do it otherwise, would we? You guys have a fine mayor, by the way.
That wasn't my. I mean, I think though the point is, and Commissioner, I think you said it. I mean, you certainly don't do it for the money. You don't do it for the, all the great. You really do it. It's fun serving the people and making a difference in your town. How big is your town?
Our county is about 22,000.
Okay, that's right. Your county commissioner.
South Sioux City is part of Dakota County.
Okay.
So yeah, we're proud of Dakota County and our cities down there. But I love serving the people. It's good to see things happen. Yeah. Kind of get things done. One thing I did learn with the county government, and this is a city too. The wheels turn very slowly. As I got my first term, I thought I'm going to get this done. Finally, after 9 years, I'm starting to get some of those projects completed. The wheels turn very slow.
Thank you. You're a business guy. You're trying to bring business acumen to county government. Well, I've been doing everything I possibly can to bring business acumen to city government. But I think whether it's city government, county government, state government, federal, that bringing business acumen, business practices, getting some stuff done. That's what we should be doing. And it sounds like you're trying to do the same thing. And
number one priority. Okay. But it makes it difficult for Nebraska being this close to South Dakota. You have a good business environment. Yeah, you do. You really do.
And you're right. We do. I was actually with some site selectors yesterday, 4 of them, and we were trying to help explain to them why Sioux Falls and South Dakota is the place to do business, bring companies. And And so, yeah, we like our chances. I think our biggest issue, though, Bill, is that people don't know about us. They don't. Sioux Falls isn't the first city they think of when they think of relocating a business or starting a business. And so we're trying to help spread that word. Yeah.
I think you're doing a great job. Wow. Absolutely. I mean, your town is growing. We can see it from month to month coming up here.
Yes.
Really growing. It's clean. Seems like crime-free. Good environment.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Well, it's not crime-free. Not every neighbor's a good one, but it's still one of the safest communities in America. And yeah, we love to keep it clean too. We do. I'm kind of a freak about that. I think everything's a reflection of our town and of our people, and keeping it clean and vibrant is a big deal. So, and thanks for staying overnight. And you
Don't miss an opportunity.
where did you stay? Did you stay downtown at all, or do you ever stay downtown?
We have not.
We never have.
No, well,
Jody, you got to stay downtown.
We have.
Okay, it's romantic too. It's romantic, and
we celebrated a family 50th anniversary, and we're downtown last year. Where we were out at the Holiday Inn Express.
Oh, very good. Wow.
Close to the mall.
Well, thank you. First of all, thanks for the kind words.
You guys deserve it.
And Commissioner, thanks for your service.
All right.
Jody, thanks. You're a fun person. And you 40? How many years? 42, 41 years. Well, I've got a goal. I'm at 30. Cindy and I have been married 30 years. My goal is to get to 50. And so, well, I know. Well, how do I follow up on that one? Then, of course, I'm going to go. Yes, 51, 52, but I at least want to get to 50.
Absolutely.
It's one I'm on my magic list. But so you just seem so happy. I love it.
Oh, we are.
Yeah, beautiful couple.
Thank
So,
you.
anyways, thank you. And your sister and your was it
Her grandson.
Her
are coming
grandson.
in. In fact,
Okay.
I just beeped, so I think they're here.
Oh, are they here? Oh my God. Okay. Well, tell them the mayor says hi.
All right.
All right. Thank you.
What
Thank
a
you.
welcome this was.
Pleasure meeting you.
Pleasure to meet you as well. Jody, have a good time.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bill.
Thank you.
Sioux Falls, right now, I'm at the Aerostay Hotel, which is located right next to our Sioux Falls Regional Airport. And I've got Rachel Hatch, and Rachel is the general manager of Aerostay. And you're a Sioux Falls person, is that right?
I am born and raised.
Well, first of all, thanks for staying in our town.
Absolutely. I love it.
Thank you. Thank you. Rachel, I mean, we've never had a hotel so close to the airport, and this one, you can't get it any closer. Is that right?
Correct. We are physically attached to the Sioux Falls Airport. We have a link that just walks you straight through. Takes you about 5 to 10 minutes from the time you leave your room to check out to check in over at the airport. It's very convenient.
Say that again. I mean, so I wake up in the morning or I leave my room, I check out, I'm at the ticket counter in 5 to 10 minutes.
Yep, absolutely. Through security, no more than a half an hour, and you're waiting for your flight upstairs.
So how's it been going? What type of person is using the Aerostay? Is it a local person? Is it someone from tell me the typical customer here.
The majority of the people that we get are the business people that are traveling in for meetings or out and whatnot. The majority of the people that do stay are on that early morning flight in the morning. We see a lot of our rural community, Mitchell, Aberdeen, Brookings area, people that don't want to drive 3 o'clock in the morning to come and meet their flight. They're going to come here early. They're going to stay the night with us, and they're going to walk over in the morning.
And let's see, is it a 5:20 flight? What are the earliest flights here?
They do differ. I think the earliest one is 5 or 5:15, 5:20 in there.
Okay. So yeah, that makes perfect sense. Yeah. Come the night before, get a great night's sleep, wake up, and then 10 minutes you're at the counter.
Yep. Absolutely. And we do have a business center, so if you want to if you don't have a bag that you need to check, you can print off your boarding passes here, and then you save the extra 5 minutes at stopping by the ticket and go straight up to security.
We're growing up as a city.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
You see this stuff all the time in bigger cities, but now we've got it here in Sioux Falls.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So has it been busy?
It has been. We've had a great year. 2015 was a great year. We were only open for 6 months. 2016 is getting even better, and we're just very excited to be here.
Where do you park? I mean, do I get a deal if I stay at the Aerostay when it comes to park? Are there any special deals I should know about?
Yep. All parking is done in the long or short term lot. We do have park and fly packages available. So we include your parking with your stay, depending on how long you're going to be parked for. So that's actually one of our biggest sellers is that because you're going to get a discount off of your parking in general.
I hate talking about this, but there are those situations where all of a sudden a flight, gets delayed or folks, are I don't want to say stranded in Sioux Falls, but do you have a rush of people coming here and say, I need a room, I need a room? How does that work?
Yep, we do. Usually if it's a mechanical issue, the actual flight itself, whether it be a airline, Delta airline, American Airlines, they'll call over and say, we have a canceled flight. How many rooms do you have available? I'm going to be sending people over. So we kind of get a little bit of a feel as how many is going to come over. We also do have 2 sister properties in town. One is the Best Western Ramcota. The other one is the Clubhouse Inn and Suites, which is next to Johnny Carino. So once we fill, then we call our other properties. They have shuttles. They'll come and grab guests and bring them wherever and bring them back in the morning. Does
that happen a lot?
We only have had a few due to weather related issues now. In the winter, it's huge. It's huge. I mean, we can fill up by 11 a.m. if flights are canceled. But I mean, we get our fair share, anywhere from 10 to 20 just walk-ins a day. People are coming in to fly out and realize that we're here. It's still kind of, people are just still realizing that we're here.
Well, my gut says most of Sioux Falls probably doesn't know that we've got a new hotel now right next door, but that's great. That's great. I love it. Well, again, thanks for the interview, of course, but thanks for staying. So you're Sioux Falls. Why did you stay in Sioux Falls? Was it your family or?
Yeah, my family's all here. I obviously went to high school here. I've worked here. I like the community. I feel safe here, and it's just a fun, nice place to live.
What part of town do you live?
I'm over on the east side of town.
East side.
Yep.
So what do we need to make it even better?
At this point in time, I don't really know. I mean, we're continuing to grow all the time. I mean, Uber's coming. That's a big thing.
Why is that see, and I love it. I know we're at the airport, but I mean, Uber, yeah, this ties in. Of course it does. But why is that a big deal for the city of Sioux Falls? Help people understand. Yeah.
I fear for our local cab companies. I really do. But we have flight crews that come in, and obviously they're coming from much bigger cities, and that is the first thing that they say. You guys don't have Uber. We're working on it. But again, I fear for those local companies that who knows what's going to happen.
Well, they will have some competition, won't they? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Could you explain Uber to the people of Sioux Falls?
To be honest, have never used Uber.
And I haven't either. I've not, but my daughter and her husband David, they use Uber all the time when they're on the road or traveling. But basically, Sioux Falls, what it is it's an application on your phone, and it's a service where you can basically hit the application. It will help you identify ride opportunities within your area. You pick the one that you want. And they're here, and you pay them the fare, and they'll take you from point A to point B, and it's happening all over the world. Yep. It certainly is competition for probably our local cab companies, but I think that it'll elevate all of us up a little bit. But that's a very interesting comment. We've got Uber, so we're growing up. I love it. So nothing else, though. I mean, are you finding enough to do in Sioux Falls?
I do. When it comes to this time of year, I'm a lake kind of person. Okay. So really, you don't have to do a lot of updates in Sioux Falls to make me happy. As long as I've got some water and a beach, I'm good.
Have you been to the event center?
Yes, I have. Yeah, I'm a Stampede hockey season ticket holder, so we've been there quite a bit. Concerts, Carrie Underwood's coming up. Very excited about that. So.
Are you country?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep.
What country act have we not had that you want here?
Actually, the one I want is Carrie. I saw her in the arena when she.
I did too. I thought it was a great show.
It was great. I can't wait to see her again. God, I don't even off the top of my. I mean, Miranda Lambert would be great to come, but yeah, we've done great so far.
It's been fun. It's been fun. Have you gone to bull riding, or we've got rodeo coming?
Yes, I was actually when the PBR was here. I was in Arizona on vacation, so I was unable to make that this year, but we'll be attending next year for sure. Yeah.
Thanks for this. You're a very gracious interview. I love it. Thank you. Thank you. And again, Aerostay Hotel, right? It's hooked up to our airport. You cannot get any closer, folks. And so, if you do have that early morning flight, and there's a couple of them, if you want, you can certainly just stay here and wake up in the morning and do you have donuts or anything like that?
We don't. The restaurant in the airport opens at 4. We do have food items for purchase, complimentary coffee and tea all the time.
So there you go. Thank you so much. Great job, Rachel.
Yep, absolutely. Thank you.
Well, Sioux Falls, this has been a great listening and learning session. I mean, we've covered our airport in all kinds of different ways, and I've just loved it. Like I said, I'm so proud of Dan Letlier, his team, the Airport Authority, for all the investments that they've made here at our airport. It is really, it's grown up in such a grand fashion. It's beautiful. It's so functional. It's so safe. And yes, it'll get you to where you need to be or get you back home in such a grand fashion. I think you're just going to love it. Folks, here's the reality. About 7 years ago, we had so many people that were, instead of flying out of Sioux Falls, they were flying out of Sioux City, Omaha, Minneapolis, Fargo. They were flying out of those airports versus our airport here in Sioux Falls. That's not happening very much anymore. And I just love that because it's so much more convenient. It improves our quality of life. It helps us generate business. And really, it just elevates us as a city. So again, on behalf of the City of Sioux Falls Airport team, I just want to say thank you. Dan, keep it going. Airport Authority, keep it going. Sioux Falls, keep it going. This airport has come so far, and my gut says it's gonna fly even higher and do just great things. So again, Sioux Falls, thank you. Great listening and learning session, and we'll see you soon. Take care.